Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. Here to kind of get back into the Deer Hunter, as I mentioned last week. And so I'm basically continuing, and the color spectrum is when I was starting the Deer Hunter stuff after I finished Marillion last fall. I was going to do the color spectrum. I wasn't sure how to do it, but then it turned out I thought, well, maybe I'll do 3 EPs per video. And I thought the other day, just do one EP per video, and that would be a lot of videos, even though it'd be shorter. So, as it turned out, the way that it was released, it makes sense. So the color spectrum from the Deer Hunter was a series of 9 EPs that, based on the idea of, making in the color spectrum music of each of the different styles and feelings you get from each color. It was released officially June 14th, 2011. I know the idea of it was brought up, I don't know if it was by one of the members of Circa Survive, or I don't know if it was some of the members in the band. This was some of the members in the band just kind of brought up to Casey. I want to say it was before even Act 3 came out. It was probably during the Act 2 period. Maybe they were on tour or something like that. And they're like, that might be an interesting idea. And so then he finally decided to pursue it. And he spent the better part of a year working on it, Casey and the band, but mostly Casey Crescenzo, and in 2010 mostly. And he traveled around in various parts of the U.S., with different people he knew, had different guest people. Anyway, so for today, I don't want to go into the full detail. Maybe after I'm done with it, I'll go elaborate maybe a little more about it. But I'm just going to do what was basically, I looked at in the order of the first 3 EPs that you'd listen to if you listened from the beginning to the end. It wasn't released together as like an alphabetical order exactly. It was bookend with Black and White, so the first EP generally was considered Black. So it's going to be Black, and then the ones that followed after that were Red and Orange. So first of all, just talking about Black. So I have the complete collection on CD, the first issue of it, and I meant to buy another one because they weren't really that expensive. And then I've got it came with this neat book, of course. And then I've got one of my most prized possessions. I think I showed at least in one video recently, maybe one of those vinyl tag videos. The complete color spectrum. These are like 10-inch EP colored vinyl in here. So, and here's the book with it. I got it signed. It looks like, I don't know if it was Casey. I think it was probably Casey. But so Black specifically. Here's Black. And I'm just revisiting it again today. I revisited it a few months ago, but it's got 4 tracks like every one of these EPs. Let's see here. My bad. Yeah. Never Forgive, Never Forget, Filth and Squalor, Take More Than You Need, and This Body. So, and you can see that. But I know. And to me, it's an interesting opener, and the songs, I mean, they were what they were going for were, different tones and feelings you get from certain colors and shades and everything like that. In this case, it's Black. This record, the style, obviously a lot of the color spectrum is a departure from the traditional style the Deer Hunter had done up to this point. It's rather industrial. It's kind of sinister and dark. Go figure. It's Black and sarcastic at points to an extent. But the amazing thing about it is the songs themselves have a lot more than just that tone and atmosphere going on. They're actually pretty catchy at points. They're pretty memorable. Among the EPs in the color spectrum, the Black one is one of the most memorable ones. And they've played live, I want to say, Never Forgive, Never Forget, and Filth and Squalor. Those 2 songs they've played here and there frequently since they toured past the color spectrum and other tours. It's a lot of kind of, dark kind of angular guitar parts, like in This Body, that last track. That's one of the more proggy tracks the Deer Hunter ever did, even though it's very kind of dissonant, like the whole EP. But that part, it's the whatever you want to call it, the tone or the it's not necessarily it's minor key, but it's just a very dark guitar texture. But like I said, like every one of these songs has some kind of hook to it. I always thought it is Filth and Squalor, which is weird because on Spotify, and that track is actually referred to as, I think, yeah, it's actually considered. It was like a misprinting or something. It said, I think, unless I'm thinking of another song. I don't think so. No. So yeah, it's there's a misprint actually on Spotify. Let me go back up to it because I think what it says is Firth. Yes. So that's a misprint, at least in part of the upload. And I was thinking it actually was called Firth and Squall, like Firth of Fifth. No, Filth and Squall, which makes more sense. It's got that kind of moving guitar texture, almost like a chorus. Dun, dun, the different choruses in these songs. This body is a temple. This body is it's not a temple. It's a prison. And it's sort of, it's dreary. And it's sort of like the beginning of time. Maybe in some ways, he's talking about the way things look bleak and dark. Things started and then things changed. I don't know, maybe I'm reading more into the whole sort of concept behind the color spectrum. There was like 4 or 5 different approaches to sort of see the songs and the tones. They go from color to color. But anyway, so yeah, the CD. Well, the thing is, the CD I was going to show is actually was released. I don't know if he ever came out with like one CD for each EP. Maybe at some point he released it that way. I know you could buy each EP digitally, but this has all 3 on this one CD, so that's kind of why it was probably good that I decided not to make this as like a 3 video or 9 video series. But moving on to the next EP, the Red EP, and this I noticeably always think of for the feature of Andy Hull and maybe more members of the band Manchester Orchestra. So Black was sort of sinister and sarcastic and dark and sort of brooding. Red is like sort of like a flame burning. It's almost as dark, if not darker in a way. But here it is. I've never loved this EP. Among the whole collection of EPs, I'm not saying it's my least favorite, but I can't say I've gone back to it as much as some of the others, for sure. But the songs do have like sort of identities. Deny It All, Deny It All is catchy. It has kind of eventually kind of it has a nice chorus. I don't know. I mean, I listened to it again today. And I'm like, we've got a score to settle. The title sounds like it'd be a song that could totally see the Deer Hunter, like a sort of not a fight, but sort of like a revenge thing. And that's kind of what red can be. Kind of, you have this revenge in your eyes. You have that red eye. I mean, red can represent so many other things, like blood or like fruit or other things like that. But for the most part, I think they were going for sort of burning, sort of darkness. But like, and we're not talking about the devil exactly, but Satan. But it's, I don't know. The songs aren't like over the top dark. I think Black is probably a darker overall record, but the songs don't have as much sort of memorability as they do on Black. I Couldn't Do It Alone, A Curse of Cynicism. They talk about talking about a curse and being cynical, in that chorus. I don't know. I mean, it's still not a bad EP. I like the the contributions that include Manchester Orchestra or just Andy Hull. I know there's one point I hear vocals that I'm not sure if it's actually Andy or Casey on that song Deny It All. But anyway, so let's see. Going on to the third and final EP of this video in this particular portion of the first portion of the first part of the color spectrum of the Deer Hunter videos. Orange, and this, I guess, comparison is sort of like a reflection between from black to red to orange. This is one that I enjoy a lot of. Echo, that song is very uplifting, very energetic. It's got a nice chorus. Talking about seeing no, I'm not. I'm thinking of a different track. There's a chorus. There's a line on that song that I think of, something about how go on one. That's right, but that song has like this great energy. It's very blues rock, but it also has like almost like a kind of deserty sort of Western, although there's more than one EP that kind of channels sort of the Old West at points, but it's like blues rock with energy. It's kind of very riffy but happy blues rock, you could say, which is a contrast to Red, which is not so uplifting. Or I don't even know if I would call it quite blues rock, but I could see sort of how the transition from Red to Orange makes a lot of sense. You know, But There's Wolves. That song has a really nice bridge. Stuck on a wire out on a fence. Yeah, I mean, none of the songs are really like super fast or technical exactly, but they all sort of don't overstay their welcome. And A Sea of Solid Earth, that one's a little more methodical, I guess. I could see that being a soundtrack for something. I mean, you know, Casey loves his cinema. You think about what they're doing with the Indigo Child right now. So, yeah, I mean, Orange, I'm not going to rate the 3 EPs of each video, but, you know, I can definitely say that I've gotten more out of Orange than out of Red. And Black, I've definitely gotten a lot of too, but Black is still kind of a mood. Orange is a little less moody, but anyway, they're all really good. And like I say, you know, I'm going to talk about every EP and then the whole thing. Probably do like a summary on the last video. So hopefully I'll get through these this week. Yeah, I was going to just show what the cover art represented. I think this has all of them. So this one is Orange right here, the one with the dog. I always think of that, Orange for that one. And let's see here if I can actually not misplace. Yeah, okay. And it's like there's a write-up, of course, of every. I read this when I got this, and I haven't read it since. He does like a write-up of each one of these. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to get through this. Filth and Squalor, not Firth and Squalor. Somewhere there's a choice being made. Oh, maybe these are the lyrics. Yeah. I don't know. Black and Red. He also seems so like pissed off. Whereas Orange, of course, he's not, and that's kind of just it's a mood. It's almost like 9 colors and 9 different kind of, you know, feelings or moods. So my guess this is Black. So that's Black, and if that's not Red, I don't remember what the color that, you know, because there was cover art for every one of these, and I was assuming they're all in here. But anyway, so that's it. So what's your take among the Deer Hunter fans about these 3 EPs, the first 3, you know, and you can give me how it ranks among the whole color spectrum if you want. Again, I got at least 2 more of these videos to make about it before I move on to the rest of the Deer Hunters catalog. But yeah, I mean they're all good. Although I'll say among these 3 EPs that there's specific tracks like on the color spectrum I like more than others. They're kind of the greater than some of their own parts, all the parts. Some of the cliche, but at the same time, you know, there are other parts of the color spectrum that I have revisited more often because I just get more out of them. But yeah, like I said, they're all really good. But yeah, this should be fun. Hopefully, I can get through this week and then start going through the rest of their catalog and do the whole ranking stuff and everything. But thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.